I love your clothes. So exotic.
Vale, yo lo que iba a hacer era... Confunde a Rufio para que deje de amenazar... Vale. Vamos a convencer... que no me la he puesto. Esta de aquí. Déjame pasar.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water.
Así no hace tanto ruido el ventilador. Hace tanto calor. Vale, pues venga. ¡Ahí va! Que me quemo. A ver, Rufio. Si puedo hacer que dejes de acosar al pobre señor.
You again.
A ver, ¿eres tú quien está amenazando
No
a
idea
Virgilio?
what you're talking about.
Yo creo que sí. Sé que fuiste tú. Encontré una carta sin terminar en tus aposentos.
Yes, so what? What are you going to do about it?
Te voy a pedir que dejes de amenazarlo. Te voy a hacer daño y mucho. Te voy a pedir que dejes de
And
amenazarlo.
why should I? The one true God says that for man to lie with another man
Anda, tira a tomar por culo,
is
señor.
an abomination. His presence here is a threat to us all.
Dios, al final te meto una paliza, ¿eh? Si eso es cierto, ¿por qué no se ha roto ya la regla de oro? ¡Ja!
Well,
No tiene
I don't
respuesta, ¿eh?
know. Maybe God hasn't noticed yet.
No se ha dado cuenta, dice la
But
madre que
when
le
he
parió.
does, we're going to have a problem.
No, el problema lo vas a tener tú conmigo. A veces que tener vecinos es una amenaza mayor.
There's only one true God. And he laid waste
También es cristiano.
Sodom and Gomorrah because of exactly this kind of thing.
Ja, ¿cómo crees que reaccionaría la majestad si supiera que estuviste en una secta?
I don't like where this is going.
Deja en paz a Vigilio o te delataré ante todos.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And unless you want your jaw broken, I think it's best if you don't ever talk to me again.
Intenta romperme la cara. Malnacido. Tú ven aquí. Lo termina contigo.
I have nothing to say to you, kaput murder.
Pues me voy a chivar.
Harvey, we'll speak again after you've carried out my order.
Pero me quiero chivar. Me quiero chivar de Rufio. Pues se lo voy a contar al otro. A ver dónde está. ¿Dónde está mi amigo? No, tú no.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the Welcome back.
No me sale la opción. Vaya
Nice
por
to talk
Dios.
to you.
Pues me ha salido mal entonces. Ya no puedo convencerlo. Este no. Este no. Dar rienda suelta a mi imaginación. ¿Qué más puedo hacer antes de reiniciar el día? Este no. Este... Vamos a ver si puedo evitar que se suicide esta vez. Bueno, ¿para qué? Si tengo que reiniciar el día. Consigue un arco. Vale, pues...
How'd you do?
voy a explorar algunos sitios. Uy, ¿tú qué haces ahí?
How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die in here?
I don't think so, my friend. It's
Hello.
election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be
My friend
kind of
Hannah, he
incensed
said
and let you out.
if any, he gave me all I remember.
Sí,
No,
ya sé, ya sé.
Hannibal said,
No me va a dar...
you're mean.
Vale, le caigo mal ahora. Bueno, a ver. Yo quería mirar... la mierda esta de... no, por aquí no. Uy, ¿y esto? Pues qué muñeca más rara. Vale, a ver.
49 melodies fetch again with incessant labor the water they have lost.
¿No puedo llevarme la carta? No, no puedo llevármela. A ver. Bueno. Se supone que esta es la... limpiando eso. Vale. Pues... me voy a robar... tu llave. Robar objeto.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the
¿Cuánto
one.
dinero tiene la jodida? A ver, qué diario. Hoy estoy de celebración. He ganado 1000 denarios de una manera muy fácil, vendiéndole la salida a una tonta desesperada. Por supuesto, puede que no sea la salida que ella esperaba, pero la cicuta también cuenta. Eso le enseñará que no debe meterse con mi pelo, que hija de la gran... Y como esto no incumple la regla de oro, igual tengo que volver a intentarlo. Ya. Eso es lo que me iba a dar. Pues me llevo esto. Desgraciada. Qué mala gente que es. A ver, déjame pasar. ¡Qué mierda! A ver, que tengo otro sitio que mirar. Ahí va, ven aquí. Vamos. Pero no me matéis. A ver. Me llevo esto. ¿No hay nada más? No puede ser. ¡Ahí va! Me matan. Al final me matan. Uf. A ver si no se quita del medio.
Unless you want me to slip some hemlock into
Cállate,
your
cerda.
next drink. Get out.
No me da la gana.
The many shall suffer
Me llevo
the
esta.
sins of the one.
Y te va a cagar, guapa.
Dread implacable furies.
Ahora, que estén. Que no me disparen. A ver, tengo que hacer que este se vaya de aquí en medio y que no me mate, claro. Jolín, apartaos. Vale, ahora sí, me voy. ¡Ahí va! No puede ser. Joder. Me las tendré que llevar lejos entonces. A ver.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Vale, a ver. Rápido, rápido, rápido esquivando. Rápido, rápido. Ahora voy. Rápido, tú ven aquí. Tú ven aquí. A ver si vienen hacia aquí. ¡Ay! Esquivo, 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 esquivo. Cojo, cojo, esquivo, esquivo. Venga, vámonos. Me voy. Me piro. No tengo nada que explorar por ahora. Que yo sepa. Venga. Vale. ¿Cuánto dinero tengo ahora? 7000. Santuario de Apolo. Y tengo ya la llave de esta señora. Y su diario. A ver, creo que puedo usar su... No quiero hablar contigo. Leches, déjame.
Oh, sounds serious.
Ah,
I'm
¿de
listening.
qué le puedo hacer que se ocupe? Silvia se está muriendo y Lucrecia no puede ayudarla sin este sitio. Coge un poco y vete, date prisa.
Julia? Oh no. All right, I can do that. I'll
Ve más
go,
rápido que
but
puedas.
once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Vale, entonces yo mientras él hace eso me voy a por el... a por el hombre este también. A lo mejor así puedo evitar que se maten. Y acumulando dinero puedo conseguir pagar la deuda de ambos. Para que los dejen tranquilos. Mírale, ahí está, que se quiere tirar. A ver si puedo convencerlo ahora. Si le digo que Julia no se va a tirar. Que Julia no se va a matar, leches. Tú. No, tú no. Tengo que hablar con Lupio.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my...
I know.
Ah, puedo
Please,
saltarlas,
sorry.
vale.
please, help him.
Sí, voy a hablar con él. A ver. Si le digo esto, no se va a detener.
If you're trying to make it easier for me to... Let me guess.
Está mal y lo sabes. Esto es nuevo. No, creo que tiene derecho a morir, tanto está estupendo. No, eso no.
You know?
Si le vuelvo a hablar de ello.
Well, you don't under... It's too... If I backed out now, I'd be betrayed.
Lucrecia fue capaz de coger algo de sí para salvarse. Vale, ella se recuperará. Aquí cuando le digo que se recupera.
Oh, really? That changes things a little. But
Cambia
we're
las
still in
cosas,
debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
De hecho, sí.
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then?
No realmente. Serías libre.
You'd do that for us?
Sí, claro.
A couple of complete strangers?
Por
It
supuesto.
seems today we're both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
Toma
Thank
tu
you.
dinero.
I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
No hace falta que me des la túnica. Podrías hablarme de tu relación con Sencilla.
Ah. And there it is. Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing.
¿Por qué no empiezas del principio?
All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus' villa, I heard a young woman singing.
Ajá.
It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa,
Y la
and
vio
that's when I
ella.
saw her,
Y se enamoró. Claro.
standing in... I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knee, and then she looked up and
Pues
saw
tenía que haberle
me,
dicho que
and
fuese al grano.
she smiled. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, and so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do. And then
Que
one
sí, que se
morning I
enamoraron.
woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Scintilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. But with her gone, things unraveled quick.
A ver. ¿Puede ser que haya escapado de alguna forma?
All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never
A ver
have
si va a
taken her
ser
own
la
life.
mujer que está encerrada debajo
And there's
de...
no way anybody could have
esa
killed her
cueva.
under the golden rule. I can't
La
prove
tienen ahí
it, but I just
encerrada.
know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me.
Ajá.
That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her.
Yo también creo
I
eso,
have
¿eh?
no idea how, or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. My guess?
¿Se te ocurre quién podría haberla
Malleolus had
secuestrado?
something to do with it. He is without doubt the most evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs,
Es
which is
verdad.
always locked. I've never seen the inside of it,
Y creo que
and I
escuché un
haven't been able to
llanto.
steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things.
Ajá. Me pondré a ello.
Let me know
Claro
what
que
you
me pondré a
discover.
ello.
I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks.
Sí. A ver, tengo ahí la señal de Julia. Pregunta a Julia por el plan de escape de sencillo. Vale, sí. Pregunta a los residentes. Busca sencilla la habitación. Vale. ¿Cómo entro? No lo sé. ¿Me puedo tirar? ¿Estará otra vez el agujero allí? ¿O al tener la llave ya...? No hay ningún agujero. Solo hay una forma de averiguarlo. ¡Ay, va! Me he caído mal. Pues nada, me toca bajar las escaleras.
I hope you're taking care of yourself. What you did was extraordinary, and
Bah, no me interesa nada lo que me tengas que decir. Me voy a buscar a Sencilla. Debe de estar ahí, seguro. O está ahí dentro, o está en la habitación cerrada de abajo. Oh, sí puedo ir por aquí. A ver. Pues no. Pues no. Pensaba que sí, pero no. A ver si puedo hablar contigo ahora.
I
No
hope
idea.
you're coping.
Yes, so.
Te voy a hacer daño y mucho. ¡Ay! ¡Que me quiere pegar!
Shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ha pasado por tu culpa. Me quiere pegar. Jolín, ya le he liado. Qué mal. ¿A quién le pegas tú? La leche. Uy, están por todos lados. ¿Qué? ¿Quién eres tú? ¿Esencia? Joder. En serio, no lo puedo creer.
Salve, friend.
Que les den a todos, de verdad. Madre mía. Idiota.
Fresh meat, huh?
A ver.
Magistrate, is it? Yes, thank you.
¿Habrá alguna manera de...? Está llorando alguien aquí. Uy. Vaya ojos que me
I'm
llevas.
not supposed to be in
Claudia.
here.
Tú no eres sencilla. ¿Podemos
Talk.
hablar?
What business could you possibly have with me?
¿Qué haces encerrado en esta habitación?
My
¿Eso-
marital
eso es eso?
affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. I think a better question is, why am I being interrogated by a stranger who just barged into my
No me he
villa?
colado, tenía la
I have
llave.
quite enough marriage trouble already, without having to explain to my husband why I'm receiving strange women in private.
Uy.
Preferably the way you came in, by which I mean...
Sí que sí, vale. ¿Qué
I
opinas tú de la
think
regla
it's
de oro?
about to be broken if you don't hurry up.
Uy, ella qué borde.
The dainty little thing from next door. Of course not. As much as I despise her father, I would never lay a finger on that poor, sweet child. Well, I've had quite enough of this.
Vale, tranquilo.
Demetrius, come quickly.
No, no estoy
We're being
robando.
robbed.
Eres imbécil.
Do I need to call Demetrius?
Sí, la has llamado ya. Cerda. Malnacida. A ver, espérate. Antes que tengo que mirar cosas. Nope. Pues vaya mierda. Aquí no hay nada.
Demetrius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute.
¿Sabes algo de la
Of course
desaparición
not.
de...?
But as I always say, if Sentius can't protect his daughter, how can we trust him to protect this city?
Como digo siempre, así que tú eres el que ha estado promoviendo eso de si no puede proteger a su hija, ¿cómo podemos confiar en él? Qué tontería más grande.
Look, if you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the cisterns beneath this villa. Demetrius says
Yo
he
también lo he
saw
visto.
a body there some weeks back. Of course, just to be clear, I take no responsibility for what happens to you down there. Are you insane? You barge into my villa? Why, when I
relájate.
withdraw from an election, I'm...
¿Que voy a ganar? Porque en cuanto ganes, romperás la regla de oro.
Don't talk nonsense. There's no such thing as the golden rule.
Sí que sí te. Vas a arrestar a Asensio por traición y a condenar a muerte por combate de gladiadores. ¿En serio? ¿Va a hacer eso?
How could you possibly know that?
Pues no lo sé, la verdad. Conozco el futuro. Conozco todos tus secretos. Porque vengo del futuro, no se lo va a creer. Vamos a decir...
Nonsense! This is nonsense! I don't know how you know about my plans, but I'm absolutely sure Sentius is involved somehow.
Pues no.
And now, I'm going to enjoy watching Demetrius kill him even more. Now, get out of here! You outstayed...
Uy, qué borde. Vamos a ver, ¿qué tenemos por aquí?
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers?
Cállate la boca, sin vergüenza. A ver, vale, ahí está Upio.
behavior, I trust.
Ya sé que habla sus lenguas, pesada. A ver, Upio, ven aquí.
Shalom. Really?
No estaba ahí, guapo.
I was sure he was hiding something in there. I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to.
¿Qué lugares?
There are still
Dímelos.
2 places I've never been. First, the palace. If Navia managed to get in, then I suppose Centilla could have too. The only other place she could be is somewhere in the cistern network. I remember hearing that Dooley had been poking around in the upper cistern before he was locked up. So you could ask him about it, I suppose.
Es que le caigo mal. Vale.
All right, friend. Thanks for the chat.
Vamos para allá. Pero espérate, que no he terminado contigo.
Shalom.
A ver, no me interesa tu historia y seguro que no sabes cómo salir. ¿Qué
Well,
opinas de la
neither
regla
of
de
us
oro?
had a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology, law, and collective punishment, so... You remind me of an... Obliging, he replied, of course. All right, friend.
A ver. Vamos a ver, ¿qué tengo por aquí? Agua pasada. Consigue la llave del aljibe superior liberando a Dooley. Encuentro una forma creativa. Pues si necesito herramientas voy a tener que hacer algo más. A ver. El prototipo ya lo tengo. A ver, vamos a dejar en ridículo a esta tía. Pues no quiere.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
¿Qué cliente? Está vacío.
Imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't
ya
you?
contigo, coño. Te quiero dejar en ridículo,
Oh, you're
sin
here,
vergüenza.
and there's a...
Sé que eres una persona horrible.
How dare you?
Asquerosa. Tenía que hacerlo, era necesario. A ver. Sí, ya sé que la sacerdotisa tiene algo, pero no me hace caso. Quiero volver. Dinero, flecha, vino. ¿Dónde estaba la...? ¿Tú no habías ido aquí allí? ¿Qué haces aquí? Un momento... No, por aquí no era. A ver. Era... Más dinerito, más vino. Y... ¿Por aquí? No. Por aquí. ¿Por dónde se llegaba a la parte de abajo? ¿No? No. ¿Qué coño? ¿Dónde estaba la chica encerrada? A ver, creo que era... Es que creo que era por aquí. Yo juraría que era en alguna zona... Este es el mismo sitio de antes, coño. Pues lo llevo claro. No me acuerdo de dónde estaba. por aquí tal vez. Sí, aquí estaba. A ver. ¡Ay! Que ya no hay chica. Pues aquí había alguien. Aquí había alguien, tío. Ya no hay. ¿Es porque le he dicho al tío ese que bajara? ¿Y la han vuelto a esconder? Si estaba ahí, ¿tú has visto algo? Me la han vuelto a esconder. Qué cabrones. A ver, quiero... Por aquí no he ido aún. Pues ni falta que hacía. Estoy perdiendo el día. Esto no... ¿Cómo acabar con el acoso? ¿Cómo acabo yo con el acoso? Si se lo digo al tío. A ver.
On your best behavior, I
¿Puedo hablar
trust?
contigo sobre el acoso a Rusia?
I don't see why not.
Registro de ciudadanos. Ah, aquí es donde puedo encontrarlos. Vale, gracias.
Of course. He's one of the better commanders I've ever had. That's for sure. Treat your inferior. Can't ask for...
Vale, pero no puedo decirle nada. Tú.
Citizen, we're
Vale, a ver.
Seems rather
Vamos a ver. Vale, vamos a hacerle preguntas. Pues nada, no más preguntas. No puedo...
Of course. What is it?
A ver. Creo que sé quién es. Vamos a decirle que es Rufio.
Why do you say that?
Se está volviendo cada vez más semejante a Virgilio por su sexualidad.
Well, you'd better find a way to make him back down, hadn't you? I'm quite sure you're capable of containing that half-wit. Go and do it.
Me pondré a ello. En serio. Pensaba que él haría algo. Convence a Rufio. No creo que sea tan...
On your best behavior, I trust?
A ver si me dice algo nuevo ella. Te he preguntado a la gente intentando encontrar un patrón. Nada en realidad, vale.
Livia's fate weighs heavily on my mind.
Pues nada, no puedo hablar con ella tampoco. A ver, estoy sinvergüenza de aquí. ¿He ido por allí?
Name's Rufius.
Ah,
No idea what you're talking Yes, so.
Ah, por Dios. Te voy a pedir que dejes de
And why should
amenazarla. A ver. La verdad que tenemos una amenaza mayor a los asuntos personales de Virgilio.
Well, I wouldn't get so angry if he wasn't so. You know.
Homófobo. Eres un tío normal, haciendo sus cosas. ¿Qué problema tienes? ¿Te incomodan tus sentimientos hacia él? Uy, esto si se lo digo se va a enfadar.
It makes me uncomfortable.
En serio, tío.
I don't like where you're going with this. You'd better take that back
Bueno.
before I make you.
Debe ser difícil debatirse entre hacerle caso a tus creencias o a tus deseos. Donde duele.
Smart. Now get lost.
¿Pero va a dejar de acosarle?
I have
Jolín, qué coñazo de hombre eres, ¿eh? Te pegaba una paliza si pudiera. ¿Qué había por aquí? Creo que aquí estaban los baños. Sí. Por ahí estaba el asesino. Tengo una idea para matar al asesino. Tengo una idea para matar al asesino. Sí que... A ver, voy a guardar. A ver, tú.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the... You'll just have...
No entres ahí. Confía en mí. Vale, búscate otro sitio. Si intento... A ver si puedo intentar convencer al asesino de que entre ahí para que se le caiga todo encima.
Stop, right?
¡Ah! Lo vi rezando en el santuario pequeño redondo fuera de la ciudad. Es el segundo edificio de la izquierda. ¡Oh!
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd
Sí, tranquilo, tú ve. Tú ve, venga. Quiero ver cómo se te cae todo encima. Y me llevaré tu arco. Si vas más rápido no te vas a... O sea, tira. Tira. Chao, chao.
Curse you, cultist.
Ah, toma por culo. ¿Qué pasa? Dame tu arco. Gracias. Recompensa, a ver. Por orden del emperador. Ordena a todos los hijos leales de Roma que cacen y ejecuten al incendiario y asesino Ciberio Quincio Crispo, ciudadano del distrito aventino de Roma. Bla 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 bla. Que sí, vamos, nota de... Dame tus flechas y tu dinero. Pues ahora, ya me lo ha cargado. Pregunta a Maleolo si él es Quincio, ¿en serio? Vamos a ver.
Ah, I hear.
Joder, pues no puedo decirle nada. Bueno, uy.
You there. I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that
yo no llevo
fine
nada,
bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban. But
No te lo
I'm
pienso dar.
impressed.
No te lo
And
pienso
before
dar.
you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts.
Vete a la mierda.
You're not interested in amassing riches beyond imagining? You sure?
¿Cómo que hazlo? Vale,
Do you have
cuéntame.
any idea how people here end up as golden statues?
Las estatuas cobran vida y les disparan flechas doradas.
And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life which has to be stopped. And yet, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg.
Madre mía.
With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without... And even if we were to split all those riches between the 2 of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested?
Ha hecho la voz que lo haga.
Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you in? Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get on? Now, I have a plan. But first, tell me, are you
No,
familiar?
no la conozco.
No problem. Allow me to... Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand?
Un arco de oro.
Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you-know-what. Oh, gods, no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
No voy a preguntar nada.
So, are you in, partner? Wonderful. Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying. This is a quality.
Me parece bien llevarme el arco
A
dorado.
gold leaf bow.
Muy bien.
Now I've gone and unlocked the shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside.
Que lo abre él.
It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
Vale, venga. Vamos a activar esta misión. Esta. A ver.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and
¿Qué te llama a ti?
How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them? You're toying with me, right? You're a bit like Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus.
Sí, vale, venga. ¿En qué
Sisyphus
sentido?
was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll forcing him to start over and over and over again for all eternity. Just
Pues sí, soy como
actually,
Sísifo.
now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never. Oh, and Ixion was anyway. So.
Ah, no me cuentes tu vida.
Anytime,
Gracias, guapo.
friend. Now. Oh, and
Ah, por cierto, ya que estás aquí.
Salve. Now. I bounced
Preséntate,
the
hombre.
idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the elections, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot.
Si Maleo lo huye, romperá el heredero y nos matará a
How
todos.
could you? Oh, wait. You've seen it. Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure Malleolus loses. If you can
Pues
do
sí.
that, and Sentius is the only candidate.
Muy bien. Pues ya
Alright.
está. Por lo menos él lo sabe. Se lo tendré que volver a explicar cuando reinicie el día, pero en fin. Vale. Nombre romano de rodillas. Vale, a ver. Hola, ¿y eso que hay ahí? Ugh. Vale, pero... ¿me tengo que subir? A lo mejor. No puedo llevarme una de estas sillas para subirme encima. A ver. No, está aquí el arco. Arco, arco, arco. Quiero ponerlo, leche. Algo. No, no quiero disparar. ¿Qué estoy haciendo? ¿Qué he hecho? ¿Qué es esto? Madre mía, la he cagado. Modo foto. ¿Y esto? Blanco y negro. ¿Pero para qué quiero yo esto? Oh, oh. Oh, qué guay la textura. Por defecto, vale. Pero cámbiale el puto arco, nena. Vale. Ah, ahí me sale.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Vale, pero quiero cambiar el arco. Pero si es que no me deja hacer el cambiazo. Jolín. Vaya mierda.
Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you,
A ver. A ver si me puedo subir a él. Vale. Intento de robo, no. Quiero hacer el cambiazo. ¿Cómo hago yo el cambiazo? Vaya. Jolín. ¿Es que tengo que entrar aquí por la noche o algo? ¿Y es por eso que no me deja hacer el cambiazo ahora? Ah, apaga los braseros. Uf. Por eso no me deja. Sustituir. Ahora sí. Ah, ahora tengo el arco dorado. Que lo convierte todo en oro. Bueno, todo.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow?
Sí, lo tengo.
Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me.
Sí, los cojones. Sabía que no debía confiar en
And
ti.
yet you did. And now here we are, with me out here and you in there. Until you give me my bow.
Yo creo que no.
No, technically, I never said that. I said if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love
Te
a
voy a
good
matar.
Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your first problem is you're in there. Your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? Kill us all? It's an empty threat. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognize my own handiwork.
Que te den por uno, no te lo pienso dar. No te doy este arco ni de broma. Encontraré otra salida.
I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed,
Que te
but
dé
you're
por culo.
stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out how many it takes to kill a woman, shall we?
Bueno, porque voy a hacer así. ¡Hala! ¡Ja! Que te den. Asqueroso. ¿Tú qué haces aquí? Mejor no. A ver. Vale, me llevo las flechas. Tampoco pensaba darle eso. ¿Esto qué es? Ugh, qué asco. Para el culete. Mhm. Vale. Las algas, ha dicho. ¿Qué pasa con las algas? Dispara. Vale, vale, ya lo he entendido. Gracias, vocecita. Déjame subir, por favor. Quiero subir. Quiero subir. Aquí. Es que no me va a dejar. Así. Genial. ¿Has visto eso, eh? Qué grande que soy. ¿A que sí? ¿Verdad? Claro. Estoy viendo pies de esqueleto ahí. Echa un vistazo al pergamino cercano. ¿Qué pergamino cercano? Este.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and, disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that, even though I had moved, she
Una
was
mujer atrapada
still
en una prisión de oro.
right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This
Dentro
was
de
a
estas
woman
estatuas
trapped
hay
within
seres
that
humanos
golden prison.
inmóviles.
Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew
Me había dado
the full
cuenta de eso hace
horror of
tiempo.
this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
Vale. Mira, puedo subir por aquí. No me puedo llevar las... Chico, chica, sube. No sé si voy a poder saltar eso. ¿No me puedo llevar las cuerdas? ¿No? Ah, vale. Por lo menos se escala. A su manera. Ya sé. Las maripositas. Ahora hay muchos sitios por los que puedo acceder también. Genial. Ok. Claro. Estoy en el santuario. ¿Dónde estoy? Estoy en el palacio. He llegado al palacio. A ver qué tenemos por aquí. Vale, me lo llevo. Voy a guardar. ¡Ay, Dios! Lo siento. estás? Dale una patada. Ah, te va por culo. ¿Estás bien? Me parece que no. Ahora más. Oh. Tira para allá. Por fin, dice. Ah, bueno. Si quieres que te convierta, entonces yo no me siento culpable. Ah, la mierda. Muchas gracias. Ah, de nada. De nada, hombre. Un placer. Perdón por la patada. Vale, más flechitas. Y... a seguir avanzando. Vale, se está quieta. ¿Qué? Tú cállate. Le he disparado a... Vamos a ver. Toma. Toma. Y toma. Por si acaso. Una botella. Allí abajo. Allí abajo. Quieta. Por aquí. Ya. A ver, que quiero ver que no me deje nada. ¿Por aquí dónde? Ah, por aquí. Ah, vale. Flechitas. Pobrecitos. Perdón. Perdón, perdón, perdón. Vale. Más flechitas. Perdón. Uy. Uy. Mira la mierda. Tú también. Vale. Ah, toma por culo. Ah, la mierda. Voy a convertirlo todo en oro. Tira para allá. Pesado. Con permiso, ¿eh? Gracias. A ver. Por aquí. Un poquito de parkour. 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 Flechitas. Aquí hay más. Vaya. ¡Pero vas a subir! Déjame morir. Quedas quieto. De nada, amigo. Tira. No hay nada por aquí. Puedo convertir eso en oro también. Espérate. Quieta. Si tanto lo pides. Toma. De nada, ¿ves? Es que yo soy amable. A ver, el jarrón. Pues he fallado. Quieta. Ok. Vale, ¿por qué quería que convirtiera el jarrón en oro? ¿Para llevármelo? Pues no. ¡Anda! Hola. Tira. Pues por aquí no hay nada. No sé para qué cojones quería que hiciese el jarrón oro. Hola. Sangre. A ver. Puertas del palacio.
My beloved Galatea.
Tras conocer la terrible realidad acerca de las estatuas doradas, he vagado por la ciudad como si estuviera en una pesadilla. ¿Cómo será la vida de esas pobres almas atrapadas en el oro y en cierto modo aún vivas? Atrapadas en su propio cártaro, condenadas a un tormento eterno tan terrible que ninguna mente sana podría llegar a comprender. Pues sí. Intenté aliviarles como pude, empecé a entablar conversaciones con ellos y hacerles compañía. Me inventaba historias de sus vidas, les ponía nombres y les hablaba del mundo y de las historias que había aprendido durante mi infancia. Mientras los demás se preocupaban por mi bondad, yo solo buscaba la soledad, pretendía la compañía de mis tormentos. Tras descubrir la entrada al palacio abandonado, empecé a pasar mis días caminando por sus pasillos y compartiendo viejas historias con sus habitantes. Mi mente viraba hacia las de Apolo y Dafne, Perseo y Medusa, Pigmalion y Galatea. Pigmalion, el escultor que se enamoró de una preciosa estatua y que, tras pedir ayuda a Afrodita, descubrió que su amada Galatea había cobrado vida. Entonces fue cuando escuché que me susurraba: Galatea, lo siento. Sé que ese no es tu nombre real, sino uno que he cogido prestado de una historia. Pero cuando me giré para mirarte, vi a la mujer más bella que jamás hubiera conocido. pese a que tu cara estuviera petrificada en la tristeza más inolvidable. Qué turbio. Nuestro encuentro me dio un nuevo propósito, liberarte de tu prisión dorada para que un día pudiera oírte decir, no solo susurrar tu verdadero nombre. Así que me hice con herramientas para la larga y ardua tarea que tenía por delante y bloqueé la entrada. Vale, y se puso a trabajar. ¿A trabajar en qué? En fin. Quitarles... pensaba que era un método de tortura. Hola. Están todos huyendo. ¿De qué huís? Una flecha aquí. Así no pueden pasar. Cachis. Quita del medio. Hay muchos ahí. Vale, pero al convertirlo en oro me he quedado yo sin poder ir. Es que esto no se abre. Nope. Vale, por eso... Despacito, despacito. Vale. Todo en oro. Todo en oro. Mírala a ella. Qué exploradora está hecha. Uy, que me caigo. Tengo que pasar por ahí, así que... Ah, no. Tengo que ir por ahí. Pero me gustaría ver qué hay ahí. Dar una patada. Tira. Ok. Por aquí no puedo. Dinero. Veo un cofre. Más flechitas. Espera. ¿Estoy volviendo hacia atrás? No, esto es nuevo. Fuck. Tira. A la mierda. no hay más. Oh.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning
por eso
these
se
poor
mueven las
souls,
estatuas.
my beloved Galatea.
Pues esta persona se dedicó a quitarles parte del oro que lleva. Pudo hacer que se movieran, pero eran agresivas.
Who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling
por
through
aquí
the
ya he venido.
gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and
Yo, sí, dime. ¿Me estaba susurrando a través de las estatuas de alguna forma? ¿Quién eres? Detrás de ti. Tú eres la loca que está quitándoles las cosas, ¿no? Tú debes de ser Naevia.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that.
¿Y la regla de oro qué? Esto no tiene relación conmigo.
Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace, for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her, to see her beautiful face, to hear her speak freely, instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you? What do you mean, the same voice?
Porque es la misma voz. Es como si otra persona me estuviera susurrando a través de las estatuas.
Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done... Wait, I see what you're doing.
Ay.
You're trying to steal her away from me. Were you planning to wait until I'd done all the hard work, then swoop in? Is that it?
No, hija mía, no. No, lo juro.
You tried to steal her away from me, and now
Dios mío, cómo
look
está el
what you
barrio.
made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too.
A quedar aquí por accidente, solo me quiero ir.
What are you talking about?
Me perdí en los túneles por debajo de la ciudad y llegué al palacio. ¡Evita!
So you're saying you weren't coming for us?
No, esta vez no. Nunca tuve intención de hacerte daño.
So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done? Oh God, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course.
No, no me hagas reiniciar el día, por favor, que aún no lo he terminado.
And we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut.
No. Un momento, puedo deshacer todo esto.
Late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry.
Podría volver a cubrirle en oro.
What? How?
Con mi arco dorado. Este arco dorado es el arma que envuelve en oro a la gente.
Really? I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess,
Sí, gracias, por favor.
I'll give you the key to my old medical chest in the
Estaría
shrine
bien.
of Apollo. I imagine it would help Lucretia ease the suffering of those still in the city. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood?
Muy bien, da un paso atrás. Hacer una cosa. Voy a guardar aquí. ¿No puedo hablar contigo? ¿Y si te convierto a ti en oro? Venga.
At least.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Perdón. Quería probar qué pasaba solo. Oops.
Make her gold, or I'll make us all gold.
Vale, a ver. Vamos a hacer la caso. Está tu oro.
You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you, thank you. I swear I will never harm her again. I swear it.
No sé
I'll
si
stay
creerte,
here to keep her company. But these poor souls, what can be done for them? I've tried everything I can.
Nada.
I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place.
Pues
In any
sí.
case, I must honor our bargain. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the shrine of Apollo. I believe...
Vale, dame la llave. Me piro de aquí.
Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. Go.
Adiós, loca. Venga, ya hemos salido de aquí. ¡Hala! ¿Ya es de noche? Pues me tocará reiniciar el día pronto.
A golden bow, just like Apollo and Diana's.
Sí.
Feeling all right?
Más o menos.
That's a
Esta no
shame.
me dice nada. Se va a hacer de noche pronto, supongo. Hey, bro. Ven aquí.
Salve again, my sister. No.
Preséntate al magistrado. Vale, a ver. ¿Qué me queda? Vale, aún tengo que averiguar esto. Preguntarle al maleolo si es el quicio ese. Convencer a Rucio. A ver si puedo entrar ahora ahí. ¿Qué hay aquí? Que ya no está el asesino. Espera, esto me suena. Esto me suena. Bueno. ¿No es por aquí por donde entré al principio del juego? ¿En el futuro? La escalera. El oro. Por allí. Pero no se puede subir. Una cuerda, a ver. No puedo convertir el agua en oro. Pues no. A ver. Voy a aprovechar para usar... No, sí, no. El arco de oro. ¿Dónde lo puedo usar?
How did you fit the fire? Hello.
Vamos a ver a tu
You said
tesoro.
we gave all our... No.
No hay manera de hacer que salga. ¿Y si convierto la puerta en oro?
Help me.
¿No?
Hello. Bye.
No funciona eso. Pues nada, voy a ver qué hay en las cuevas, ahora que tengo el arco. No, aquí no, por aquí. A ver. Conseguir entrar ahí de alguna forma. Ella te guiará. A ver, por aquí. Y aquí arriba, esto. Vale. Ajá, vale, desde aquí se llega a la parte de atrás de este lugar. Aunque la chica no está. Anda, mira, la placa que se llevaron de... ¿Y esto? Ah. Tengo que venir aquí para salvar a la tía. Oh, la llave. Genial. ¿Qué? ¿En serio me estás diciendo que la llave estaba dentro y que la tía estaba encerrada y no salía? ¿Qué? Cero lógica. Cero lógica. Pero bueno. A ver, ¿qué había por aquí debajo? Vale, sí, ya recuerdo. Aquí se iba aquí. Y allí había otro sitio en el que usar el arco. ¿Una manzana de oro? ¿No? Sí, manzana de oro. A ver. ¿Qué hay aquí? Dinero y flechas. Y más vino. Y un logro. Más dinero. Si puedo volver a pagar la deuda del amigo este. A ver si puedo
Just
decir
as
algo
the
nuevo.
Youth, it is.
No. No puedo decir nada más. ¿Qué pasa contigo?
Hello there, partner. I'm glad
Sí,
you're here.
sí.
I think, you see, my plan was to give you a little fright. You know, like two friends joke. But when I opened it, you were gone.
Sí, sí. No te creo.
Partner, I swear, this is just a misunderstanding. Look, why don't you keep our bow as compensation?
¿Te refieres a mi arco? No te preocupes, me lo voy a quedar.
Fine, fine. It's a credit to you that you're able to see the humour in all of this. Now, can I help you with something?
Sí, muérete. Con cicuta, si es posible.
Very well. And up.
Sin vergüenza.
All weapons are to
Solve
be
it.
tossed into the chasm.
I have
Magistrate's
nothing
orders.
Que no me habla, me odia. Y tú también me odias.
I'll do it all of...
Todos me odian. Pues voy a hablar con el sinvergüenza este antes de que lleguen las elecciones.
So you got a bright lamp. Who cares?
Una lámpara brillante.
Get out of my villa before I
Cachis. No puedo hablar con ellos. No puedo hablar con ninguno ya. Todos me odian. A ver. ¿Tú
Citizen.
me dices algo?
Ah, you've returned. Of course. What is it?
Ya sé cómo evitar que al menos una persona lo incumpla. ¿Y ahora qué?
Well, if you stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it. Still.
Sí, hay mucha
Allow
gente
me
que
to
quiere
explain.
hacerlo.
When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is to illustrate, when the golden rule is broken, I will open the door if you...
Sí, ya lo
sense-
sé.
if either, so
Tú ya me
that,
lo has contado.
excellent. It looks like...
Vamos a ver.
Yeah?
Maleolo.
Why do you say that?
Cuando ganes las elecciones te condenará a muerte por traición.
I'm speechless. How do you know?
No, no lo
Of
es.
course, this isn't your first loop, is it? Well then, you must stop him from winning the election. I expect you'll need some kind of leverage on him, but I can't be seen to be involved in this, of course, so you'll be on your own.
Yeah.
You'd better not waste any time. And may Swada, goddess of persuasion, go with you. Good, thank you.
Joder. Madre mía. Voy a hablarle de todas mis sospechas, entonces.
Of course.
Vamos a ver. Vamos a decirle que es de
Why do
Sio.
you say that?
Me pidió ayuda para investigar cómo convertir a la gente en oro para obtener beneficios.
When you say he asked for help, you're not thinking of...
Ya no.
But still, he's been trying to enlist help with this for months. Even if you don't help him, it's only a matter of time before he becomes... Thank you for bringing this to my attention. But before we proceed... Ah, I see. It looks like you'll have to continue.
A ver,
Of
no creo
course.
que sea él realmente.
Yes?
¿Y qué es eso?
Why
Realmente
then did you...
no...
Thank you.
No creo que sean ellos.
Oh. Yes.
Nada, a esta nada. ¿Y con quién hablo yo ahora? ¿Qué puedo intentar hacer antes de que pase el día? Pregunta a Julia por el plan... Vale, es verdad, Julia. Aún tengo que preguntarle a Julia. ¿Dónde está María Julia? Hola, Lucre.
Feeling all right? Sure.
Sé que se envenenó ella misma. No tengo por qué saber esto. ¿Se ha pirado la Julia?
Isn't the great temple
No, por aquí no. Ella llora por donde fluye el agua. ¿Sabes por dónde fluye el agua?
Salve. Sorry, I'm still... Was there something you wanted?
Sí, a ver. ¿Vamos a hablar de la desaparición?
I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so
Llevaba meses
I can't
encerrada en la
help
villa
you,
de
I'm afraid.
Malleolo. ¿Y qué hacía encerrada meses en la casa de ese tío?
Our priestess, Equitia, once told me it's the god's way of creating a city. But if that's the case, I mean, they've got... Really? You mean my life story? Oh, our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't, cut out for that kind of life. It was a good life for a while. Until 7 months ago, we must have had 100 workers, but they fell on deaf ears. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee. I remember diving into the river, and then... The next thing I knew, I was waking up on the riverbank not far from here. Thank you. I consider myself fortunate.
El río, esa es la...
All right.
La parte en común que tienen todos. El maldito río.
A fellow traveler from a faraway land.
A ver.
And did you know?
Una persona se ha mencionado un río.
I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
Es lo único de lo que me di cuenta.
There are definitely some common threads there. But I think we'll need at least a few to ensure we're not just seeing coincidences. Keep asking people how they wound up here. I don't want us to rush to any conclusions yet.
Vale.
Olivia's fate weighs heavily on my mind and dictates we should be sure.
Vale.
Come back to me.
Pues nada, vamos a hablar con los que no me odien. Le pregunté a esta cómo ya llegaba aquí.
Feeling all right?
Más o menos.
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm...
me iba a permitir que alguien... ¿Cómo has llegado
My
hasta aquí?
husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. I would have divorced him and demanded the so I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires
Incendios.
came. As he
Hablan del
prepared
incendio
to
todos.
evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his eye could barely see for the smoke. And the streets were full of people trampling each other. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a
Lo mismo.
It's all right. And while Well, she used to run the clinic until she suddenly looked the last and then
Vale,
she's
sí.
but I
Tampoco me importa mucho Naevia.
he's becomes I just
Tengo la llave de su antiguo cofre. Quizás encuentre lo que necesite en su interior.
Really? That would be wonderful. Thank you. Let me know how you go.
Gracias. ¿Pero dónde está el santuario de Apolo? ¿Es eso de ahí? Cerrado. Santuario de Apolo. ¿Dónde estaba eso? ¿Dónde estaba eso? Ya no hay nadie aquí. ¿Dónde está la gente? Aquí tampoco. No se ha pirado esta peña.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Hola.
You...
Sí, lo he hecho.
An accident? So, it's over?
Sí.
I do have a question though. That shrine?
Más o menos.
So you kind of murdered him then?
The many shall suffer
no me
for the
jodas, ¿en
sins
serio?
of the
Where are
one.
you?
Fuck. Qué mal, qué mal. Pues nada. Todo mal. Ay, no me peguéis, por favor. Vamos a reiniciar el día. Qué mal. Me he cagado. No quería reiniciar el día. No había terminado. No había terminado.
Oh, sounds...
A ver, tienes que evitar que Fabi entre en el santuario vacío y decirle que recién llegado y es un descuento de lo que busca. Al recién llegado. Vale.
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Yulia? Oh.
Puedo enviarle a hacer todo el trabajo de una.
But how did you... Oh. I'll go, but once I'm done...
Vaya, puedo enviarle a hacer todo el trabajo. Así me ahorro de hacerlo yo. Interesante eso. A ver. ¿Tú quién eres?
Beautiful.
Ah, la asquerosa esa.
Oh, you're here. And there's... coming on a bit strong. I take back what I... Let's just forget that.
¿Cuál es tu historia, guapa?
Let it go.
Pero vamos a ver. Te estoy preguntando si...
Certainly. Have you met Livia?
Me cuenta lo mismo de siempre. Vale,
There used to
hola.
be a midwife here, Naevia, but this place drove her mad. Fortunately for us, she...
You,
Whatever you...
Sisyphus,
Que te den por culo,
attack
guapa.
or pursue the stone.
Tira la mierda.
Always.
Me cuentan lo interesante. ver si consigo evitar lo de Rusia ahora, leche. Ahí contándole todo. Vale, pero ¿dónde se ha metido la...? Vale, al hacer esto estoy consiguiendo que la gente se fije en este hombre para convertirlo en magistrado. Interesante.
Ah, a fellow greeting.
Pues quiero saber dónde soy, pero quiero hacerte unas preguntas. ¿Cuál es tu
My
historia?
story? How kind of you to ask.
¿Cómo has llegado hasta aquí?
A good question. A very good question indeed.
Venga, cuéntame lo que recuerdas.
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extra. I rented a prestigious villa by the tide, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of it. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my... Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight, I believe. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Vale, eso es nuevo.
You mean to say... I'll tell you, Oh, if we... Anything... That I do... But... I hope that our paths cross again.
Pues... le puedo decir a este hombre que le están acosando...
Ah, and I hear... Well, I'm an architect. Help out with but you... Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about they're an ingenious feat of Roman. It's funnel built and the rest... Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the...
Vale, perdona.
It's impossible. Oh, I'm glad, but that... I'm not sure. Or it could... Who if...
Sí, vale. Esto... Ahí va. No.
And of course, so we unlet... Of
Aquí.
course. Well,
Aquí me votar usted.
Malleolus is... My vote isn't for sale, if that's what... Nice to...
Asqueroso.
For the last time, Daisies, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
How am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
A good feeling or... Sure. Glad... I'm... Oh, this kind of... But... Where until this, and then she's... But I... One of...
Vale, vale.
I just...
A ver, ver, ¿qué debo hacer? Cofre. Ah, mira. Aquí está este cofre. Toma.
Feeling all right? Oh, I see. Well, what's the... Willowback. I should have known. I have...
Vale, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué me ha dado? Vale. De esta forma puedo hacer que Rufio deje de acosar al compañero. Vale.
Name's Ruf.
En cuanto a tu reumatismo, en cuanto a tratamiento, cómete un poco de esta corteza de sauce, deberías sentirte bien en nada.
Willowbark. And finally, some relief. I've been in a lot of pain lately. It was too much. Started messing with my
Pobrecito.
head.
Ya.
No idea what you're... It's the rheumatism. It starts. I know that's not an excuse for how I... And I know I'll leave him alone from now on.
You trust.
It's not as if I would... I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti.
Vale. Bien, un problema menos. Tú, ven aquí.
Sorry, was that... If that's your idea of it...
Perdona, fue sin querer.
Citizen.
Por aquí no puedo entrar, supongo, ¿no? No. Y volver a hacerme todo eso como que no apetece. Para volver a hablar con la señora esa.
Salve.
Espérate. Montar. Claro que quiere montar. ¿Esta casa de quién es? Aún no sé de quién es esta casa. Oh, ¿y esto?
You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
No, para nada. La verdad es que no.
You'd be eaten alive, little runt like you.
¿A qué te
Nobody's
refieres?
told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and... One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me, said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because... Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out, and hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. A creature.
Una criatura.
Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others. Well.
Voy a ir igualmente, loco. Pero primero quiero preguntarle al hombre este. Hola.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here.
Vale, a ver. Así que tú eres Quincio.
My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
Tienes una hoja verde y otra azul, justo como ponía en la orden de ejecución del emperador Nerón.
You mean my heterochromia?
Sí.
I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more.
No sé yo, ¿eh?
Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish. That's quite all right. What? You are...
Esto no.
I try...
Jolín, a ver si puedo encontrar algo en sus aposentos. Algo que lo incrimine, leche. No, esta es nota de Upio. Esta es nota de Julia. Los dos iban a suicidar. Aquí no hay nada. Nada. ¿Así para hablar con la mujer? Hola.
I'm not supposed to.
¿Dónde guardas los sensores de valor? ¿Podemos hablar? ¿Qué te parecería que te ayudara a vengarte de Maleolo?
An intriguing proposition.
Creo que Maleolo no es quien dice ser.
Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look.
Una simple corazonada. Esperaba que pudiéramos desenmascarar su identidad.
You know, I may have the very thing you're looking
Entre
for.
mujeres no entendemos.
Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong
Se equivocó con
was
su
his
propio
own.
nombre.
I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly?
Porque soy la samaritana que viene a salvar el mundo. Quiero forzarla a que se retire de las elecciones. Las mujeres tendremos que mantenernos unidas.
I couldn't agree more. One hand washes the other, as they say. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Lo que te quiera.
I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn.
Tengo un
should
montón
do
de
it.
vino.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your... So, you're
Toma tu vino.
Thank you.
Gracias. Quincy a su amada Claudia. Pasé un tiempo desesperado pensando que estaba aquí atrapado hasta el fin de mis días, pero entonces te conocí y descubrí que siempre y cuando esté contigo, estoy donde debería estar. No alcanzo a expresar con palabras el afecto que siento por ti y por ello realizo este gesto en tu honor. Me convertiré en magistrado de la ciudad para así gobernar con sabiduría y fuerza, contigo a mi lado.
Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quintius really is.
Según esta carta de recompensa del emperador Nerón, él es quien provocó los incendios de Roma el año pasado.
Oh no, that's quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over
Te he
him,
engañado.
not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else
Los cojones.
must know.
No, creo que me la quedo yo. ¿Cómo que puedo conseguir otra copia? ¿Dónde consigo yo otra copia?
What?
No te he
It was a
mentido.
lie of omission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it.
Tengo que irme.
Curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory.
Uy, 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 se ha enfadado,
This is outrageous.
Anda, a tomar por culo. Verdad.
You again.
Tengo pruebas.
I like.
Se supone que tengo pruebas, pero bueno.
Unlikely, because it's.
Porque sé que eres quincio. Tu mujer me dio tu carta de amor y Nerón quiere verte muerto.
So. It finally caught up with me.
Sí.
I suppose that makes you. What? One of Nero's
No.
assassins?
No lo soy, por suerte para ti.
So. You're not going to kill me?
No se te retira de las elecciones de inmediato y condonas las deudas a quienes tienes atados a ella.
Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live?
Sí.
Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway.
Uy,
I'll let
el
Domitius
paradigma.
notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There, you got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again.
¡Qué burro!
Domitius, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Te
I've
escucharía
made a
mejor si
decision
tuviese
to
la puerta
release
abierta.
Julia and Ulpius and withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
I just had a change of heart.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money, wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir.
Guardado. Vamos a ver qué criatura estaba aquí comiéndose. ¿En serio? ¿Esto? Estoy usando el arco dorado, ¿verdad? No, no estaba usando el arco dorado. Este es el arco dorado. ¿No será esto una salida? ¿Quién me guiará? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Cómo? No puede ser. No puede ser. No puede ser sencilla este esqueleto. Es ella. ¿Ella a lo mejor? Hay mucho camino por aquí, mucho que mirar. Flechas. por aquí no puedo subir. Guay. No, aquí no hay nada. Oh, ¿de quién es este cadáver? Una criatura demacrada, salpicada en oro. El ajibe está por allí, pero yo no puedo ir. No, no puedo. Pues voy a intentar escalar. A ver qué hay allá arriba. ¿Y cómo llego yo allí? No sé yo si voy a poder saltar eso. ¡Oh! Pues sí que puedo. Madre mía, ni el Dugin Light se escala tanto. Y tan rápido. No puede ser. No puede ser. ¿Sencilla?
You. Who are you? Did he send
Es
you?
ella. No me ha enviado nadie.
You're here. You have to help me escape before that monster comes back.
¿Qué pasa aquí?
I found a way out through the gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape,
¿Quién te encerró?
he wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key.
¿Pero quién? ¿De quién hablas? ¿Quién te ha hecho esto?
Sentius, my adoptive father.
Padre.
Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him.
Vaya.
I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either.
¿Dónde está la salida?
Behind me. There's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key.
Ya veo. ¿Qué piensas hacer? Te libero.
I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the golden rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together.
¿Qué pasa con los
There won't
demás?
be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say?
Tengo una idea mejor. ¿Y si los reúno a todos para que puedan escapar de una vez que se rompa la regla de oro?
There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never.
No. Lo siento, pero si dejo que te vayas, todos morirán. Voy a hacer otra cosa. Voy a quitarle la llave primero. Salvo a todos. Y a tomar por culo.
What? No, you can't just leave leave me here?
No es ser cruel.
How can you be so heartless?
Tengo un plan mejor. Cruel no, solo racional. No merece la pena escapar de aquí. Si a cambio tienen que morir todos los demás. Esto priorizará una nueva misión. Vale, es demasiado peligroso. Déjame si puedo convencer a Asensio de que nos deje marcharnos.
It's no use. You'll never persuade him of anything. I'm telling you, he's a monster. Please.
Puedo ser muy
You're
convincente.
making a mistake.
Tengo una idea mejor, guapa. Vale, pues voy a hacer que otra persona sea ni uno ni otro. Esta es la salida, vale. Ni uno ni otro. El que tiene que ser... Bueno, tengo llave, así que no puedo. Tengo que volver hacia abajo. Puedo saltar, ¿no? Es agua. ¡Au! He hecho pupa. Vale, a ver. A ver ese idiota de Esencio que me está engañando todo el rato. Se va a cagar.
So you survived the system.
Puto mentiroso de mierda.
Are they? We're finally alone. Is that... look.
Ajá. Sé lo que le hiciste sencilla. La tienes atrapada en el ajibe.
You know, you remind me of
¿A quién?
Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before
you. ¿Te acuerdas de él?
Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a gun. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. You've lived through the day, what, 5 times? Extremely impressive. And yet everything you've done has been in vain, because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Yes. Best to take your own life now. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
Sabías que había una forma de escapar y hasta encerraste a tu propia hija para mantenerlo en secreto. ¿Por qué?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face,
¿Y si lo pierdes todo,
the
qué?
music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself?
Entrega la llave de la
And
salida.
why would I agree to that?
Si no la entregas puede que causes una rebelión.
You might want to think that through. If anyone so much as touches me, everyone dies. You and your pathetic morality.
Ya,
Nobody
claro. Estaba claro que no le iba a
cares
importar.
about- Understand that to me, you've never been anything more than a useful idiot, and you're no longer useful.
Vale. Esto no se ha
I
acabado.
certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on
Hijo de puta.
forever until you wither and die like Al did, and the gods send yet another use.
Encontré una manera de destruir el ciclo. Y a ti con él.
What are you
Asqueroso.
going to do? Beg the gods for help? They don't. Now get out of my villa. I'm.
Oh, por favor, qué asco. Vaya. No, esto no. Pregúntale a Esquicia cómo pedir ayuda a los dioses. Vale, a ver. ¿Qué me queda de esto? Lilia, vale, tengo que decirle a... Aunque todo se volverá a repetir, intentaré ayudarte. Gracias, susurro. También te quiero.
Sometimes I stare at the great Welcome back.
No te preocupes por las amenazas, es solo rufio y no va a hacerte daño.
What demon?
He encontrado una carta incompleta en
You
su
went
casa.
snooping in his place? Have you...
Sí, no volverá a molestarte.
How did you...
He encontrado un tratamiento para el reumatismo que le perturbaba y que empeoraba el resto de sus problemas.
Ah, poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person.
Es un placer poder ayudar. Creo que él también quiere ayudar a quitar el graffiti.
Really? That's promising.
Vale, a ver. Ya he ayudado a este. Averigua cómo conseguir que... Vale.
Citizen.
¿Dónde está Esquicia? Estaba aquí. Bueno, suele estar aquí. Esquicia, ahora... Ah, esa es su casa entonces. Hola.
A new face. Ave, and may best.
A ver.
Interesting.
Algunas personas han mencionado una moneda.
I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else?
Algunas personas han mencionado tener lagunas.
That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else?
Han mencionado un río, sí.
Yes. I understand many of our friends were carried here. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going
Pues yo no.
through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here?
Karen. Sí, una mujer joven, llamada Karen.
And did you happen to catch her name?
Karen.
I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood?
Sí, una sudadera con capucha puesta. ¿Cómo lo has
Because
sabido?
I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
Vale.
But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Uy. Gracias. Quiere ir a los baños. Vale. Me quiere enseñar algo referente a la tía que ve cosas. Si puedo ayudarla a ella. A ver. ¿Qué me quieres enseñar? La entrada, ¿verdad? Eso de ahí.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light.
No con la mía.
See. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N.
Caronte.
As in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Que somos
I take
fiambres.
it you know what this means.
¿Este lugar es el inframundo?
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river.
Todos murieron.
It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
Estamos muertos.
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
¿Qué me puedes contar sobre
I'm
Caronte?
sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
¿Por qué no reconocisteis a Caronte de inmediato?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti. And Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Vale. ¿Por qué hay tan poca gente en el inframundo?
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient... In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had, so maybe there's something special about the coins.
Ya veo.
No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured...
Vale.
Now that we don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength.
Claro.
Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, and finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide. So it seems you have 2 options. To confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina.
Tengo una voz que dice que me ayudarán, así que supongo que... veo que no te resulta cómodo llamar a Dios del inframundo por su nombre.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deed. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
Eso es horrible.
It is. The gods are a mirror image of mankind. If the stories are true, I imagine she's as desperate to escape as we are. If she really did help Orpheus, the problem is, leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
He oído cómo las estatuas de mujeres me susurran de vez en cuando.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now?
Me habías preguntado hasta ahora.
I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
Algo de un río que fluye, poca cosa. Siempre es la misma voz. Y es útil, aunque un poco enigmática.
Fascinating. Perhaps she is a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps
Puede ser.
you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Ya he encontrado una forma de escapar.
Truly? Then why are you still here?
Necesito una llave. Porque ese camino acarreará la muerte de casi todo el mundo, y no quiero eso.
I see. Then it seems you have made a great sacrifice for all of us, friend. I admire your compassion. Truly. Thank you. But
De nada.
unfortunately, I'm afraid your only other option will be to confront you-know-who.
Ya.
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason you may refer to him as Pluto.
Vale.
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place, and even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule.
Ya.
Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the golden rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod.
Tú no eres Hércules. No,
Forgive
soy
my
Herculea.
candor, but you are no Hercules.
Hércules no podía manipular el tiempo ni convertir a la materia orgánica en oro.
Are you telling me that you can?
¿Yo?
I won't
Sí,
pretend to
claro.
understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So,
Quizás no.
if you want to confront
Está clarísimo que sí.
him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all
Tengo
4
una.
of those missing plaques,
Me faltan
I
3.
imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid. You'll find them all over Rome. However,
Vale. Vale, me faltan 3.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius.
Vale. Giorgio.
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, will be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her.
Ya fui a su
Or just
habitación
take a look
y
in
no
his
tenía
room.
nada. ¿Y la
I'm
placa
afraid you're on your
misteriosa?
own with that one, but perhaps the goddess will help guide you to it when the time is
Puede
right.
ser. Vale.
I don't
Ahí va.
know.
Jolín. Aquí.
Or as for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible.
Primero hablaré con Livia.
In any case, time is of the essence, so may Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on.
Venga. Y yo que había limpiado esto de misiones. Escucho con mis 2 oídos. Tú.
Salve again, friend. I went. How is it possible? Oh, come on. I just did as you asked. The least you could. You're a Sisyphus. He would force hand. Oh.
Vale.
Anyway, so
Eres un buen hombre, Galerio.
now I'm going to keep your secret. Although,
A ver, tú.
Salve again. No. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley, but... He did? Oh, that was unexpected. I'll let Equitia know. All right.
Vale, pues tú vas a ganar las elecciones, dándome más tiempo y con suerte no tener que volver a repetir día. A ver.
Ixion turns, just as the ocean accepts, but it...
Vale, me lo imaginaba, sé dónde estamos.
Say it. Speak its name.
El inframundo.
Then it is true. I was right.
Sí.
I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane.
No.
I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seemed cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it?
Claro, hombre.
I will do my best to remember the relic. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths.
Se hace muy largo el verso, ¿eh?
Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, and still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my shoulders. Thank you, friend. I think I should rest.
De nada. Una cosa hecha. A ver. Paradoja temporal. Las 4 placas. Vale. Encuentra la placa. ¿Dónde está el señor? Te oigo.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
No, no lo hago. Hey, Dooley.
Hello?
¿Qué
Quite
pasa?
an impressive bow
Hello.
you have there. Just like Diana's.
Fortune smile on you, sister.
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he gave all I now no.
Pues nada.
Go. My friend Hannibal, he said he gave me the all I remember now no.
Me parece bien.
You're going. Oh. My name's Duke.
¿Qué se supone que quiere que le diga yo a este hombre? Claro, hasta que no lo saque de aquí no puedo preguntarle por la placa. Pues... ¡Hola!
Hello again.
¿Dónde podría encontrar una
And
placa
in a city
griega?
full of Romans, you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans. My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios, and they do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy. I am flattered that they copy our ideas.
Se queja de que le
Why
copiaron.
must they change the names? Do they want credit for making it?
Ah, no
At
vengas
first,
con
I pull
rollos.
my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgios the Roman. I accept the world is Roman now. Plus, I have no hair left to pull. But my point
Menos
is
pelos
this.
cara al
If
Carmen.
you want to know who stole an old Greek name, look no further than the sticky-fingered... The plague you
Ay,
seek
hijo mío.
was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics, but... he cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he... And besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him.
Vale.
Galerius. Did you know he saved the life of my young friend Fabia?
Bien.
But of... I hope...
Si este vota Galerio, esa vota Galerio. Este no va. Este. No sé, no creo que vote a Galerio. Ah, creo que tengo que repetir día. Creo que no van a votar estos dos. A ver.
How'd you do?
¿Tú a quién vas a votar?
Hello?
Me hice con una santuario de Diana, entonces yo descubrí que me habías encerrado dentro de unos avispones muy enfadados, logré escapar y tras un calvario horrible en el palacio de viajar en el tiempo, aquí estoy.
Are you well, stranger? Have you been out...
A ver, ¿a quién vas a votar?
Yes, I suppose. Stability is always...
Me gustaría que votaras a
Yeah.
Galerio.
And what's he gonna do for me? Certainly, for a few thousand denarii.
Toma.
Pleasure doing business.
Hala,
well.
sobornado. Así de sencillo, vale. 3-2. Creo que ganará Galerio. Yo también quiero votar. También soy parte.
Salve.
That's quite an
hello?
impressive bow
Hello?
you have there. Just like Diana's.
Sobre la
Do you
placa griega
like
de
it?
tu celda.
It's shiny.
¿Me lo puedo quedar?
If I gave...
¿Qué hace falta para que me lo des?
Well... if you
Vale,
get me
quieres
out,
salir. Sencio no va a soltarte, pero tal vez si tuviéramos un nuevo magistrado.
Hilarious.
Pam. O sea que solo necesito convencer a todo el mundo de que vote a Galerio.
Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my plaque and
Vale. Pues tengo que esperar a que lleguen las elecciones. O sea, pasar toda la noche. Sin cagarla, claro. ¿Quién es Kabash? Ah, ella.
Beautiful. Back again. Good. Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgios,
Vale.
whispering about some job. I remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else to know. So,
Como es natural, me
naturally,
acerqué. Cotilla.
the one word I kept hearing was vanishing, and then the next day.
Vale.
All right.
Pues volveré a preguntar a Giorgio.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
I hope you have a good reason for flouting my weapons ban.
A ver, voy a hacer una cosa primero. Me acabo de acordar. Tú.
Oh, I wish Horatius would. Oh.
La encontré. Tu padre la ha tenido encerrada en el aljibe superior.
What? Is this some kind of crude?
No lo es.
No. Father, is.
I'm afraid it is.
I don't understand. Why?
¿Por qué harías
Why
algo
would you
así,
do such a
papá?
thing?
Because she found a way out. And if you're wondering why I'm telling you this, it's because you're never going to remember any of it.
Hijo de puta.
All I have to do is commit a sin, and the day will begin again.
Lo
Watch
sabía.
this. I'm going to kill you now.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Qué cabrón. Este de aquí, ¿no? Sabía que iba a hacer eso. Estaba clarísimo.
I hope you have a good reason for flouting my weapons ban.
Vale. Lo repetiré más tarde. Tengo que encontrar las placas.
Greetings and
Hola.
salutation. Hello again, my son.
Estoy buscando a Kabash y he oído que tú fuiste la última persona que lo vio.
I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my
Solo
friend,
dímelo.
but please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath.
No. Confía en mí, los extranjeros debemos ayudarnos, ¿verdad?
Very well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this.
Me da igual el
so
magistrado de
please keep
mierda.
it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest. And yet the next day, when I return,
Se la
the
come.
food is missing.
Qué
So
raro.
I ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going.
A Kabash.
Nothing! Nobody entered, and yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again. I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break, but you do not strike me as a kind of person.
¿Dónde está el templo de
Don't you
Demeter?
just love springtime?
Ah, allí. No, allí no. Ah, esto. Ah. A ver, mi arquito de oro. Aquí está. Guardando. Oh, una lira. Estatua. Otra lira. Una cabeza. Un poco largo esto, ¿no? Anda. A ver. No, cargar no. Guardar. Vamos a guardarnos esto. ¿No serás tu Kabash?
By the fire. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
¿Cómo te llamas tú?
It's a sincere. Tell me.
Anda buscando una placa que alguien ha quitado del obelisco.
Ah, yes, that cursed.
Oh, dímelo.
I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many
Pesadilla de
years,
persona, de
with
verdad.
nobody to talk to. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a
Vale.
good philosophical art. Let us find out with this simple question.
Plutón, dios del inframundo.
I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over.
Vale.
Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue?
Si no queda otro remedio.
Good enough for me. Now, let me... Would you say you know the difference between...
Bien y el mal. Es una
You are
cuestión
an
difícil.
overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the golden rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult.
Supongo
Well,
que
that's
sí.
reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong, so we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a... But under the golden rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference.
Por
So let me
supuesto.
ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Creo que no.
Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right...
Eso todavía no lo hemos averiguado.
After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer? My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any...
Buena
If there is
observación.
one thing I have observed
Vamos a darle la
about
razón
rules,
para que nos diga
it is that
lo
virtuous
que queremos
people do not need them,
saber.
and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can... Because the only way to create a utopia, this and no other, is the route from which a tyrant and life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Estoy de acuerdo.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
¿Dónde
You
puedo
seek
encontrar
the
la
plaque
placa? Por
bearing the
favor,
Egyptian
démelo.
inscription. It is
Así
a
es.
cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you if
¿Vale?
Kabash had not
Pues
already
preguntamos por Kabash.
I will
Dime
tell
dónde está
you,
Kabash.
but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things
Que
you
no
must
puedo
know.
pegarle.
Very
Claro.
few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once... When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of... And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman
Vale.
conquest, they gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple of Demeter, and hid them here. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me.
La
and it is
placa,
the
¿no?
An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription. had no idea until years later. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plough. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans, but it turns out this game, I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow.
Espero que no sea
I
una
assure
trampa.
you it is not, although it will take this key.
Gracias. Vaya con la llave.
I enjoyed
Vale,
our chat.
vámonos. Muy bien. ¿Qué es esto? Pez colgado. A ver. Por ahí.
Ah, you've returned.
No, no he vuelto. Ni siquiera me he llegado a ir. No, he vuelto atrás, ¿no? Pues sí, sí que había vuelto atrás. Ah. Estoy en las catacumbas. Colocado con mimo. Sí, mucho mimo. Pero mucho mimo. También está colocado con mimo. Mucho mimo. Sí. Están colocados con mucho mimo. Mucho amor. Aquí no hay nada. Guardando. ¿Qué? ¿Qué ha sido eso? Arquito de oro. ¡Ay, Dios! Me he pillado. Mira. Cerrada por el otro lado. ¿Tú miras? ¿Tú me miras? ¿Tú me miras? No me miras. Interesante. Les puedo dar una patada antes de que se acerquen a mí. ¡Ah! ¡Tira! Es que no puedo tener la linterna y el arco a la vez. ¿Quién de todos estos va a intentar atacarme? Juego de mesa. Hola. Quieto. 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 Jolín. Anubis, ¿qué haces aquí? Por fin alguien conocido. Uy, la linterna. Vengo en son de paz. Oh, cuántos Anubis. ¿No será ese caballo?
Stop. Do not come
¡Un
any
negro!
closer.
Por fin.
Who are you?
Me llamo Lick. ¿Quién eres tú?
I am Kabash.
Ya me he dado cuenta de que eres
And
caballo.
let me guess, another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting
Pues no.
place of my ancestors.
Te equivocas. Ando buscando una placa egipcia. ¿Te parece que soy de Roma o de Grecia? Guapo. ¿Tengo pinta yo de ser romana o egipcia? ¿O Grecia?
To what end?
Quiero devolverlo al obelisco.
That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you?
¿Te das
I
cuenta
was
ahora?
planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain.
¿Por
Here,
qué?
take it and restore the honor of Osiris.
Ay, qué simpático el caballo. Gracias.
Now, as for the other plaque.
La cuarta placa. ¿La conoces?
Indeed, I have it right here.
¿También la
I
tienes
stumbled
tú?
across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was.
¿Me la das?
You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it.
No hagas eso. ¿Por qué?
Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
¿Y eso?
I will tell you. But first, do you know what this place is?
Pues por lo que he visto... Ah, mira, conocimiento arqueológico. La Duat.
Indeed. And I see you know our history. This is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story. And here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our
Las
ways,
copiaron y las corrompieron. Son unas copietas.
and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto,
Y el
and the
ciclo empezó
cycle
de nuevo.
began anew.
Se copian unos de otros. Entiendo por qué estás enfadado con los con los griegos y con los romanos.
I am glad to hear it, which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once
Vaya
more.
conjeturas, hace aquí el amigo. Si me la das, yo me ocuparé de destruirla por ti. ¿Qué dice la
You will
inscripción?
never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris'
Bueno,
name.
bueno, no te pongas así conmigo, ¿eh? Por favor,
You
no.
are too late. It is done.
Ay, ahora voy a tener que ir en su busca.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
Encontraré la forma de subir.
We shall see.
Te digo una cosa, amigo. Como me hagas reiniciar el día y tener que tragarme otra vez toda la noche para que se haga de día y volver a las elecciones, bajo aquí y te mato. ¿Me has escuchado, no?
You are still
Bueno.
here.
Se supone que la placa... Aquí está. Hala. Ya tengo dos placas. Me falta una. La griega, la que está en la caja del amigo. Un tío con barba. ¿Y ahora me va a hacer subir? Pues nada. Tendré que buscar la forma de subir. Pero ya mañana. Le voy a dar partida. Y ya mañana. Pues ya está. Con esto y un bizcocho.